I just want us to understand something, that at the Barapun, a date was written on the wall at the Barapun. They wrote 1840. Now, the slave trade we're talking about is not what happens in 1840. It doesn't start in the 1840. Slave trade started around 14th century, 1445. That was when the slave trade started. Now, before 1445, where are the Europeans keeping their slaves?
Okay.
Before they now built the one in 1840.
Okay.
Where are they keeping their slaves? Original Barapuns were built at the front of the Atlantic Ocean, at the point of no return. And that's what you are seeing from that artwork here. So you can see this is the ship, then this is the ocean, and then these are the Barapun. So they built original Barapun at the front of the Atlantic Ocean. Yes, at the point of no return. So the reason why they built them there is that it will be very easy if they see that the ship has arrived, and then they load the ship, and there are some slaves that are still left over. Okay, they will quickly put them into the Barapun at the point of no return, instead of them to call them back again, so to put them inside that Barapun at the point of no return. So that's why they built that one there. But this one was recently built by the Brazilians.
Yes.
But the main Barapuns, because you can see these Barapuns now, then they have flags of different countries. The Dutch, the Spanish, the Portuguese, the French, and the Italian, and so on.
So what are these ones?
So these ones are marching to the point of no return.
Okay. Forcing them. This is.
So this one now. This one is tired.
It's tired.
This one is tired. It's unable to get up. So because it's very tired, and then while it falls, the rest of the slaves might find it easy to move.
Yeah.
So they have to lash him to get up.
Okay. So that's what this guy is doing. Yes. This guy is he has like a wire. Yeah,
so
wire.
If he's unable to, if this one is unable to get up now, this one will have to remove his axe, cut off the head of the slaves, remove the chains from his body, and then continue the journey.
Throw it away.
Yes.
And that's what the same thing this one is doing over here too.
Slave dealers, facilitators.
Okay.
So this is Prince Henry the Navigator. We can say he's the pioneer of the Transatlantic Slave Trade.
This guy?
Yes, he's the Portuguese that started the Transatlantic Slave Trade. So this is Captain John Hawkins. Hawkins is the first English slave dealer that left the shore of West Africa with 300 slaves. And because of his feat, he was knighted by the Queen of England. Then this is Felix de Souza, who dominated the transatlantic slave trade for 30 years in Wida, that's in Benin Republic. Then a city in England, which they use all the money from slavery to build.
Yeah.
Then one of the slave dealers too in Badagry, called Farmer Gomez, was killed in Badagry because of his greed.
Okay.
So the Badagry chiefs now planned against him, and then he was killed in Badagry. He was killed in the year 1621, and he was buried here in Badagry.
Okay, so when you say greed, what was he doing?
The argument is that they will never capture anybody from Badagry, because Badagry is just like the selling point.
Okay.
So no Badagry that they sold or they captured.
Okay, so the agreement with him was to not catch anybody from here.
Not only him, with all
the dealers, with all of them.
Yes, okay. They will never capture anybody from the port, either Badagry port or Calabar port.
Okay. So I'm not sure. Is it 3 that we have in Nigeria or 2? 2 Calabar and here.
Wow. But in the West Africa, Badagry is a major slave port,
which is right here.
Yes,
right here. Wow. Then the second one is Calabar.
No, the second one is Emina Castle in Ghana, in West Africa.
Okay, in West Africa.
Yes,
okay.
It's Emina Castle
in Ghana.
Then the third one is one that's in Dakar, that's in Senegal.
Yes. Which is still West Africa.
Which is West Africa. Okay. So, but
Okay.
the whole of West Africa, the Badagry port is the major slave port for 470.
So in Nigeria we have two.
We have two.
Badagry and Calabar.
Okay. Alright. So advertisements.
Okay.
So these are the adverts. So they advertise the slaves, and of course they also sell the slave on Black Friday too. And that's why when I see people posting about Black Friday, I laugh at them that these people are ignorant, so they don't know what it means.
Okay, so now again, I like to kind of come in from time to time to bring this. Now, in the Western world, especially in America, we celebrate Black Friday. That this is supposed to be the day that we go buy all these things and everybody have money and we just wait. But really, the real story behind Black Friday is not a conducive story. And I'm so glad that he's bringing it out. This is people that study this thing. They were born here. I mean, they might not be here at that time, but they were born here and they understand, they live here all their life and they study the history, so they know. When he was saying about Black Friday, I didn't even know, maybe he know how people celebrate Black Friday in the Western world. But when he mentioned it, it kind of, make me want to come in. Okay, so go ahead, what we're talking about, Black Friday.
So the Black Friday sales, every third Friday of every November.
Okay.
That is when the slave is sold at a very cheap rate.
Okay, every third
Friday of
every November. Every third Friday of every November. That's when the slave was sold cheap. At a discount. That's what I can say. At a discount.
For example, now the one that they're supposed to sell for like $300 will be sold for like $100.
Okay.
So that's why they sold them at cheap. And it simply means the black people to be sold on Friday.
Yeah, that's what it means.
That's what it means.
Black Friday.
Black Friday. Black people to be sold on Friday. See, they left the dehumanize Africans too. They dehumanize Africa. I made a research about a man called Aristotle. Aristotle said in his book, he said, a slave is a property with a soul.
Yes.
A slave is a property. But the difference is that the property has
a soul.
In it. So that's to tell us the level the Africans were reduced into. Yes. So that's why I said they dehumanize Africans. They never see Africans like human.
No.
That's why now if you see people now, some group of men, they go to catch me and say, "It's obey, it's obey." They don't know the meaning. You just shaping it's obey. Because see they
Okay. I did not know this. Now, when we were growing up, when we see people like a laborer, when they're working hard or they're trying to move something, maybe big stuff that they're trying to move, and they have this bunch of people in there trying to lift something up, we always hear that slogan saying, "Haste obey, haste obey, haste obey." I just find out what exactly what it meant. So he said, haste obey that we use as a key that we always hear means haste obey, haste obey. Which I mean, haste is animal, monkey, and what a gorilla, and haste obey. But I grew up hearing that when people working hard like the labor, I say haste obey, haste obey, haste obey. I just learned something. That's what I always say, that nobody knows it all, but we all seem to know it all. So every day you live, you continue to learn new stuff. Now about that word, about haste obey, I've heard it so million times when I was growing up as a child, but I just now understand the actual meaning of haste obey. It's haste obey, not haste obey.
So here is a dog catching a runaway slave. On the plantation, when they see that a slave is trying to escape, there are special trained dogs, that is killer dogs. It's common among the French and the Italian slave owners.
Okay, French and Italian.
The French and the Italian owners are the most wicked slave owners ever.
Ruthless.
They maltreat their slaves. The British, the Dutch, among the slave owners, the Dutch are the ones that still take care of their slaves. The Dutch and the Spanish, they take care of their slaves very well compared to other slave owners. But you see, the Italian and the French, they are very ruthless. They don't even care, because they believe they mount every part of West Africa. That's if we do get slave from here, from another destination, we are going to get slave for sure.
Yeah.
So if a slave is now trying to escape, like as a sign of revolt, they set dogs after the slave. And the funniest thing is that they have trained the dog, and they know how long it will take the dog to return. Now, if they wait and they are unable to see the dog, they release more dogs, and those dogs will now try to go for the jugular, for the throat of the slaves, and kill the slaves.
So why do they have to kill the slaves? Can we even answer that question?
The reason is that because they believe if the slave escape, another one escape, they are up to like 10, 20, 50. They can easily come together, plan, and then attack the plantation. And then start to vote. Yes,
yeah.
That is the reason they prefer the slave to die than to go alive.
Okay.
So these are different punishments given to the slaves. Depends on the offense.
On the offense
of the slaves.
So you see, okay, this punishment is right here on the.
No. You see, all this ones I'm saying now is the experience of the slaves at the New World.
Okay.
Their experience at the New World.
Yes.
So the hanging of the slaves, the lashing of the slaves, so the beating of the slaves in public with an iron, naked them they died. Now the slaves themselves now started taking destiny into their hands.
Yes.
The first and the most successful slave revolt was held in the year 1791, August 23rd. So this as the slave revolting. So the person that first led the fight is called Toussaint, Louverture of Haiti. So Haiti. So the country is formerly called Santo Domingo.
So Santo Domingo.
So it was formerly called Santo Domingo.
Okay.
So the man was the one that now stood up because he was enslaved from Alada in Benin Republic.
Okay.
The French are the one that brought him. So when he was brought, because he was very young when they brought him. So he later became a captain. He joined the Napoleon army.
Okay.
And the Napoleon army are the strongest army in Europe. So he joined the Napoleon army, later went to Haiti, trained some men as well as some slaves. Then later he defeated the Napoleon army, and then he now set some slaves free.
Okay.
And that's why Haiti is the only country out of Africa
that wasn't
colonized.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to bring that. Okay, so that's simple history about Haiti. That Haiti, that's why Haiti is one of the only country that seems to be black countries that never, colonized. So this is the area, those that kind of fight and how the slavery was put to an end. These are the area, right? That's the people that fought, the heroes, so-called the heroes in Africa, in Badagry and the surroundings that fought for the stoppage of slavery. So when we talk about stopping it, people, the Africans too fought, but based on their own capacity, based on their strength. They do the best that they can, and then eventually it works out for all. So these are the names and the pictures and the history behind some of those that fought, African that fought, and those that are involved in the stoppage of slavery or slave trade. So go ahead.
So these are the slaves abolitionists. So these are people that stopped the Transatlantic Slave Trade.
So we call them slave.
We call them the slave abolitionists.
Abolitionists, yes, they abolished
the slave trade. So this woman is from Ghana. Her name is Nani. So she is the leader of the Maroon in Jamaica.
Okay.
So she is the leader of the Maroon in Jamaica. So our history told us that she is the founder of Jamaica.
Okay.
So she founded the country called Jamaica. That's why Jamaican are of Ghanaian origin.
Okay.
So she is the founder of Jamaica.
Okay.
Then this is Harriet Tubman.
Yes.
So this woman rescued 1,000 slaves through the underground railroad,
yes,
without losing any single soul.
Yeah.
But what got me inspired among her story the most is that she said, "I would have freed more only if they knew they were slaves."
Okay, because they refused some of the
because they were comfortable.
Especially
the housemaid rules.
Yes.
Comfortable.
Yeah.
So then this is Nat Turner. So this man staged a one-man revolution, which now led to the death of over 100 white slave owners.
Okay, where is this from?
He's an American.
He
was a slave.
Okay.
Then this is Captain John Brown. So this man is a mulatto. So it was the one that used to go to the slave arsenal. The arsenal is the place where they used to keep weapons for the slaves. He went to the arsenal, steal weapons, and give to the slave for them to fight for their freedom.
Okay.
So because of that, he was sentenced to be killed by hanging, and he was killed in the year 1859.
Okay.
Then this is Toussaint Louverture, so the man that led to the freedom of Santo Domingo, that's Haiti.
Okay.
So he brought the first campaign against the Transatlantic Slave Trade.
Okay. What do you say the name is?
Toussaint Louverture.
Okay. Okay, Toussaint Louverture.
Then this is Granville Sharp. This is the father of the anti-slavery movement in Britain, British. Then this is Frederick Douglass. So Douglass was also enslaved and was sold to Maryland, where he became the abolitionist. And then this is a Nigerian, Alauda Akiwalo. He was enslaved when he was 11 years old in Nigeria. He was an Igbo man, so he was sold to Barbados. At Barbados, he became a captain. Then one day he quickly rescued some slaves, about 278 slaves. Rescued all the slaves because he was a captain. He was one that used to go and help the master to bring slaves, so he knew all the movements of the places they are going to.
Okay.
Then this is William Wilberforce too. So this is one most people in Nigeria they read in history with big money in Nigeria.
Wilberforce. Yes.
So let's see Badagry quickly. So this is a masquerade called Zanbeto Masquerade in Badagry. It has nothing to do with slavery.
Yeah.
It's just for culture in Badagry. So it's for peace and love in the community. So the masquerade is for security at night and then entertainment during the day. So in Badagry here today, we even respect the masquerade even than the Nigerian police. So then these are drums called Sato drums. Sato are twin drums used during special occasion in Badagry, and the drums are beaten with a stick called agida. And they beat the drum once in the year. It's only beaten by orphans. They dance around the drum, jump and hit the drum, and they beat it once in a year. So this is the area view of Badagry in 1889. In 2019, and a street in Badagry in 1889. Badagry before and Badagry now.